Hey there, Scouting Stuff listeners. There is something I did want to talk about today because I just completed my Respect in Sport training for activity leaders. Now, this is a new bit of training that Scouts Canada has introduced for its scouters, and it's not something they developed. It was actually developed, as you can tell by the name, for coaches, of different sports teams, soccer, baseball, hockey, whatever. But Scouts Canada took a look at the program and decided that they wanted to incorporate it into their battery of training, the training requirements for new scouters. And actually, for all Canadian scouters, the Respect in Sport training will be required starting end of August, I believe, August 31st, 2017. So I've got that done. I'm good for however long the training is good for. I'll renew it at some point in the future. But really have to give a shout out to the Respect in Sport people because, wow, I had their iOS app, mobile app, so I was able to take the training from my phone, and I'm a huge fan of that method of program delivery. There were some, I got into a discussion on Facebook where someone did point out that, each slide of the training was not skippable. You had to actually listen through the entire audio. So if you're a quick reader and you get through all the text, you still got to sit there and wait for the audio to finish playing before you can move ahead in the training. And I mean, okay, sure, that's definitely not going to be, something that everybody is happy about. Not everybody likes to just sit and wait. But then equally, what was really nice about it was the fact that the modules were broken up into subsections, and the app would, save your progress as you progress through them. So, at most, you're going to be sitting there for about 10 minutes, or you're going to be in the app for about 10 minutes. I think was one of the longest modules I encountered, 10 minutes and 30 odd seconds. It's not a huge investment of time to just sit and chew through a single module or a single subsection of a module with, the end result that over the course of, in my case, I did it over the course of about a week. You could do it over the course of about a month. It's only May, and it's not due until August, so there's definitely time to get that training done, even in very, very bite-sized portions that don't require a particularly significant investment of time. Oh yeah, note to Scouts Canada, if you can think of some way of making all the content on the David Eustace Learning Center available in as slickly presented a form as the Respect in Sport training, I think that will make onboarding scouters a lot easier. Just saying. Anyways, the Respect in Sport training isn't really about sports. It's mostly about people, and it's mostly about young people, and it's mostly about the issues and challenges that they can encounter and how you, as a coach, as an activity leader, can and should respond to those, right? So it talks about things that really it does. I can see why Scouts Canada adapted it, because even though all the examples in the training are particular to sports teams, although actually now that I think about it, there was one example that involved a guiding counselor, a young girl guide and a guide counselor. But even though most of the examples are specific to sports teams, the training itself deals with topics that are much more broad and general than that. It's not about, the fundamentals of hockey or soccer or whatever else. It's about the respect component, which really transcends the specific activity being engaged in or being used as an example, right? At the end of the day, bullying isn't something that just happens on the sports field. Discrimination isn't something that just happens on the sports field. Harassment isn't just something that happens on the sports field. And the training is all about that. And I can see why Scouts Canada, rather than spending way more money developing their own in-house program, opted to instead just tie themselves to this training, work to make it part of the learning center and, make it available to new scouters thereby. It works very, very well, communicates some very powerful and positive messages about how we as activity leaders, scouters in this case, can really be a force for change, have a real and meaningful impact in the lives of the youth in our care. And that's probably not a surprise to most of us, but even so, it was good training and I really enjoyed it. Anyways, I'm recording this on a lunch break, so I will just say thank you for listening. If you're listening to us on Scouting Radio, hello, shout out to Scouting Radio, of course, as always, for rebroadcasting us to their worldwide audience. And like I said at the beginning, please do consider leaving us a review. We also don't mind hearing your feedback. You can reach us on Twitter at SSYSK Podcast. You can send us an email, scoutingstuffpodcast@gmail.com. You can get in touch with us on Facebook, facebook.com/scoutingstuffpodcast. Give us a like there as well, if you would, please, and thank you. And until next time, be prepared.